was that? What? What's that sound? Where? It's aliens and they're living in your town. Damn. They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town.
Hello, weirdos out there in Weirdo Land. It's me, Jaybird, and it's the Weird and Whatever podcast with Sweet Dennys, Vickie, and Ryan Beckett. How the hell is everybody?
Feeling weird.
Yeah. All right. You guys want to just jump right into this thing?
Let's jump.
Both feet.
Let's jump right into it. We got a lot of emails, Vickie, about my weeping man.
Okay.
And we've got people who have gone through the same kind of problem, where they've had a spirit or a ghost or some type of whatever in their room or in their closet, and they hear somebody crying. Have you caught? Is this something you've dealt with before? Weeping?
I've heard clients talk about it, but I don't think I've captured anything on EVP.
Okay.
I don't think so.
And what song came on right before the podcast started? Beckett was right at the door, right about 5:59. We're getting ready to start the podcast. And that creepy song that I like.
The cafe one, right?
The cafe song.
Yeah.
And that's in a amongst a playlist that's, 12 hours long of just random songs?
It's weird, Vickie. We talked last week about how can music, produce spirits? Can it conjure those spirits out? And you came to the conclusion, yeah, they could.
Oh, yeah, definitely could be attracted to that song for whatever reason. Could be connected to the time period, could be the song itself, could be the lyrics of the song. There's all different reasons someone could be attracted to that.
Now, we've got Valentine's Day coming up on Monday. Oh, boy.
Humbug.
I'm seeing some eye rolls in here. Is love not in the air?
It's a Hallmark holiday.
So Becky doesn't like Valentine's Day. Dennys, do you get the disgust for Valentine? A lot of people really hate Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I think because it initially was kind of like a Hallmark holiday. Although other countries have it. I think in Japan they do Valentine's Day where women give men candy, and then they do another one a week later called White Day where women give men candy. And so it must be a thing that other cultures do. So, I mean, I don't know, but it is kind of a Hallmark holiday. It's one of those. What
do you do? Do you have a nice romantic night with Jen usually on Valentine's?
Pretty much always. I already grabbed some chocolate just to have, so I'm already loaded up with it, ready to go, just in case something goes down. I already got it.
Look at this guy, huh?
But I always get that really good chocolate, that Ferrero Rocher or whatever. That stuff's so good. I could eat 19 of those.
Dennys is going through this big phase where he eats sweets. I'm not even eating as many sweets as Dennys is these days.
I remember that he wasn't a big sweets guy.
No, I never liked them, and then just oddly I started wanting them. It's crazy. And then I got you get the monkey on your back, man. Sugar is so addicting.
Yeah,
it is.
Great.
No, it's a tough one.
I'll find myself craving it, and I don't know why. If humans are designed, what would your body's function be designed to make you crave sugar at night?
I think it feeds yeast, as gross as that sounds. So like you have like yeast and candida in your body, and the sugar feeds it. At least that's what I've been told by.
So your body craves it at night, though.
Well, because you kind of keep up the baseline of it, right? Because you have like you've heard them talk about like the biosphere that you have with like probiotics and macrobiotics and all that. So you start to change your biosphere in your body, and then you start to crave it more. And when you eat more sweet things that would normally be sweet, like carrots, for example, they start tasting less sweet and less enjoyable because, like anything, the body and your taste buds are amazing. It adapts to it.
All I got to say is, to your point, Dennys, I don't know what it is. I got it from my mom. I get an ache for sweets at nighttime. It'll be 8:30, 9 p, and it's not that I want chocolate. It's my bones going, fuck,
yearning.
Chocolate!
Yeah.
I need it. I want it. Vickie? Chocolate cravings?
No, I have a salt tooth
Ooh.
instead of a sweet tooth.
I have a
salt
salt
tooth,
tooth
too.
too. Yeah.
Salt tooth's good stuff.
Oh my gosh, you guys are getting me all.
How about salted chocolate?
Oh fuck!
I
man.
love-
I'm not a chocolate person
Okay.
at all.
I like those granules of chocolate when they do the salted caramel.
Yeah.
Oh,
My mom used to take Lay's potato chips and put milk chocolate on them, and then bake them in the oven.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
put some salt on top. Oh,
Yeah, that sounds good.
oh, Mom, I missed that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to, we got to a snack sideways talk right there. Vickie, my question to you about a Valentine's Day. a day of love. It's a big day for people here on Earth. Something like that, does that conjure more spirits?
I mean, maybe if someone has left someone behind, they may make a special visit on Valentine's Day. I mean, I've never, this Valentine's will be the first day that I'm doing a reading actually on Valentine's Day. So it'll be interesting to see if anything different pops up during the reading.
It's going to be such a bitter reading. You know they're not with somebody.
It'd be interesting to know if there's any background, like a Dennys random facts about Cupid. You know, Cupid hitting you with your bow. If that was just some Hallmark corporate made-up thing, or if it's actually something that people believe in, that Cupid's actually hitting you with a bow, with a love spell.
Do you guys know that Cupid song from the 50s?
Yeah. Cupid, pull back your bow
and let your arrow fly.
Yeah.
That's my cut. I
don't
love
know if
that
I know
song.
it.
That is such a... I think Sam Cooke sings that.
That's great.
Yeah, but look at Becky, you old soul fuck. I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Well, I think all this talk about, ghosts and bringing up these spirits, I think let's go ahead and ask Vickie. Let's ask Vickie. Ask Vickie questions. We're still working on that.
I like
that little jingle. It's different every week so far. We're going to ask Vickie 3 questions. People want to know what the brilliant Vickie thinks about certain ghost type topics, Dennys. First question for our Vickie. Vickie, are there different levels of enlightenment for animals? And it was a longer email, and I'm paraphrasing the whole email. Really what they want to know is if their dog died, if their dog didn't live a great life, is there a classroom that dog's got to go to and possibly not go to that next level like other dogs
Goes
could?
to dog purgatory.
Exactly, Denny. Dog purgatory.
Or purgatory for the cats.
Look at that.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
All right. Well,
I think you have the floor.
We're real tired tonight, Vickie.
honestly, I typically see animals still here. So I don't see what they do if they go to the other side. It's never been shown to me. So I honestly can't answer that question. They usually stick around until their owner passes, and then I've never been shown the insight as to what happens after they leave.
Because if you had a Scar situation where he's killing motherfuckers, throwing people off balconies and shit.
You talking about Lion King Scar?
Of course I'm talking about Lion King
All
Scar.
right. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
No, I'm talking about Scar that lives down the street.
You're right. All right. I just wanted to differentiate.
Yeah, an animal like that. Because we've all been around an animal that just does not seem like it's got a pure heart. It's of the devil.
Like Bella, your old dog.
That was a devil dog.
Yeah, but I mean, animals are what they are. And sometimes they're that way for a reason, especially if that animal's been abused or their basic nature is a certain way. Like I said, I've never been shown an animal on the other side. I only see them here. And there's actually a lot of people back me up with experiences they had that they can still hear the dogs walking across the floor. They still can feel them jump on the bed. There's a lot of interaction with the animals once they pass here on Earth.
Yeah, no, I love that. I would love to have a Chewy spirit walking around here. That would be awesome. As long as I know it's Chewy.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want to think that I've got like a dead possum
Right.
walking around, because that's kind of creepy, Dennys.
Yeah.
Next question for Vickie. Why don't more ghosts get caught on camera? And when they do, why is it always shitty looking? We've even been accused of our sort of viral ghost video that it was shitty looking, and oh my gosh, Chewy. They even said Chewy. Some people said Chewy pulled the... I know. Vickie's rolling her eyes that Chewy pulled the blanket off the bed. It's impossible. Chewy'd never been upstairs
Well,
before.
you couldn't even get
Right.
up the...
No.
And I'm sure we actually have a camera downstairs that we can prove that he was downstairs the whole time.
Oh, yeah, at the same time.
Yeah, because we had camera down there. We went over all that. We could see him.
Yeah, that's great. I just don't think that the naysayers knew that, but get on the naysayers. Say, fuck you, naysayers. Vickie, go ahead.
I know that video evidence is one of the rarest forms of some kind of proof that there's something paranormal out there. I don't know why. I don't know if it's that, like with EVPs, it's because they're talking at a frequency that our ears don't hear, but the recorders pick up. Maybe there's some type of energy, frequency, whatever you want to call it, that's just more difficult to pick up on camera. If I had known that night, because, we're going to go ahead and talk about my cameras again. Please send all donations too. But it's so rare for you to actually get video footage. I wasn't going to spend hundreds of dollars on cameras. And that night when we set them up, I didn't think about making sure I had the absolute best one, which wasn't saying much, but having the best one pointed right at you that night. Because I honestly didn't expect to catch anything. And when we were going over the video, there was like 4 of us sitting there. And we're watching the screen and we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then at the same time we jump on, like, did you see that? Yeah, did you see that? We kept going back and back and back to make sure we weren't mistaken. In fact, we went back so many times, we didn't realize that the video footage kept going. So we were only looking at that first part with the little M&M man, as I call him. We didn't even realize the other part of it because we were spending an hour going over the first part to make sure it was legit, to try to debunk it, to try to figure out if there was any kind of logical. Because then we had to check that with all the other cameras, the other 3 cameras, to make sure, did something walk in? Let's look at the other 3 cameras. So why? It could be just the way they are. They can't manifest well enough to be captured on film that often.
I have a theory, and I'm not sure if you're going to go along with me on this one or not, but that dude or whatever that thing was that jumped up on me on that video, I have a feeling that thing's here.
Quite possible. I told you that basically you were going to end up with a spirit backpack.
Yeah, but that specific spirit, I do feel like might be here. I think that might be the thing that's walking by the bathroom. I'd like to tell the good people who listen to this program, we are doing a ghost or
Yes.
a some kind of investigation.
Correct.
When would you like to do that? Because people are asking questions.
Right. I am going to a historic location this Friday, so I'm already booked for this Friday. But if we can nail it down for the next Friday,
Okay.
I'll make sure I'll do whatever I have to get some manpower here to help me, and, we'll do it.
Okay.
So not this Friday, for the next one. What's this Friday's date?
I think it's March 8th.
The 11th?
What is it?
I think it's the
the
11th, so the
18th.
18th would be the day that we're going to do it.
Okay, Beckett, we'd love to have you here.
Yeah, I love the beer.
Dennys, Sweet Dennys,
Yeah,
always.
Friday.
You're
Perfect.
always
I'll be the sound guy.
and last but not least, Vickie, do spirits just sometimes cease to exist? You die and then there's nothing? Or is there always going to be something after you die?
There's always something after you die.
There's never just lights out, baby?
No, you don't just, evaporate, disappear. You're either here or you're on the other side.
Now, you're going to get people who, because we have a lot of people who don't believe in the afterlife that listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
What's your counter? They go, Vickie, what are you talking about? We're just computers. We die, and that's it.
I guess you'll find out. I mean, and you've asked me this before, as far as like skeptics, non-believers and stuff like that. It is not my job here on earth to make someone believe what I believe.
For sure. And I have to go ahead and say that I'm the one that's trying to pry that out of you. That's not
Right.
a Vickie thing. That's a bird thing. But,
My thing is, I've been doing this since 2007. Here's all the evidence I've collected in all these years. Here's all my experiences, and I can have some kind of evidence to back it up. If you choose to believe, great. If you choose not to, it's great. I mean, that's your choice.
I think we're going to find something here this time, boys and girls.
Well, as the
hopeful.
resident skeptic, the truth is no one knows. And if there's any proof otherwise, it's that something does exist afterwards, whether it's near-death experiences, mediums like Vickie or all that. The people that are naysayers, they don't know anything. They haven't had any visions. They haven't had near-death experience. So you have to at least, me being the skeptic, you have to, in my humble opinion, you have at least be 60-40 on it.
For sure.
Well, I always thought, even when I was a little kid, and I always bring this point up, and maybe I sound like a pot-smoking hippie, but I've always had this train of thought. I've always thought this was just weird. This was a weird experience. Being on Earth, being alive, having animals. It's weird. When you really break it down, what the fuck is all of this stuff? So if this is possible, this weird whatever the shit this is, why is another level impossible or improbable?
It actually makes it more probable, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
When you start to like study science and you understand like the animal kingdom and all of the intricate parts about the human body and how the world works and the universe and the earth, like it's way too crazy to not have something bigger.
I'm 44 years old going on 45, and I'm still finding myself in amazement and fascinated. Like legit, I go, oh my gosh, I get excited about things that blow my mind.
Yeah.
That's a great thing. That's something I think sometimes people can lose, and if you do lose that wonderment or that excitement, it's hard to be open to believe. Am I off on that?
No, absolutely. And people that so many people go through their everyday life, don't even stop to think, wow, that's a miracle that was like a weed. I thought it was a weed, but look, it's a flower. It's right in the middle of I-95. Like, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah.
Little things like that, noticing things like that. I always used to say, if you don't believe in magic, you'll never experience it. So you have to believe it exists out there in order to be open to it, to experience things.
Yeah, I'm not saying you got to believe in everything out there, but we all know that one person, they just won't believe in anything. They just won't believe in anything. But if you don't ever believe in anything, how are we going to be open to anything?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying believe in all this shit.
Yeah.
Just be open to something.
Well, I've heard some of the smartest people say the more you learn, the more you realize that we don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
And
Beckett's doing fucking Don Henley songs over here.
and you got to have some kind of humility in that. I feel like we tend to look down on previous generations of society, whether it's medieval times or the 1800s, and you're like, oh, can you believe they believe this?
Yeah.
But they were really smart people. They just didn't have access to a supercomputer in their pocket
technology
that we have. And I think What the Bleep Do We Know, that documentary said this, 1,000 years from now, they're going to look back on us. Can you believe they didn't know this or that they thought this? And that makes you in this moment question everything that we think about right now, because it's inevitable 1,000 years from now, they're going to look back at what we believe to be unquestioned fact. And they'll be like, oh, well, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy they believe that.
Greek and Roman era, they believed there was multiple gods.
Right.
I mean, people could still believe that if they want, but the Greek mythology, it was considered their religion until it was disproven by another religion.
It's going to sound negative, and I'm not trying to sound negative, but the older I've gotten, I love humans. I think we got some great stuff going on. It's just tough for me to fully, trust a lot of shit that we say and get behind a lot of shit that we say. We make mistakes all the time. Even in real time, you're watching people make mistakes, and I'm not saying that's. Look, people are going to make mistakes, but to your point, Dennys, you think something's one way, and then you find out, fuck, it's not even close to that.
Yeah.
We talk about the Amazon.
Oh yeah,
Crazy.
There's lost cities there that they never even knew about.
oh yeah. There's civilizations that believe everybody. They're only as good as the moment they're up till, right? I guess.
Yeah.
It's pretty much you can't only do that much.
We're still discovering new species in our oceans.
Absolutely.
And in the Amazon. We don't even know a lot about our own planet. It's
Vickie.
crazy.
Hit this, Vickie.
But it kind of makes me think about that burning question. It's kind of philosophical, but are humans by nature inherently good or inherently bad? A lot of people debate that.
Oh, it's such a debate. Me and Dennys talk about that a lot. For some people, bad is not bad.
Right?
Yeah.
That's true. It's all how you define it.
Whoa, that's deep, huh? And bad's not bad, man.
Well, love, going back to Valentine's Day, there's so many different definitions and variations of love.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? So love is a word that humans made up, but what does love really mean? You have a different love for your animal, your partner, lust, your family. Like there's all different kinds, and it's like a fluid feeling. And the word, that's 4 letters, does that encapsulate what love really is? It's not a tangible object.
It is getting deep up in here. I swear, we did not smoke a Wonder joint.
the countdown to Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I got some grumbles when I brought up the big V Day. Well, I think with all that, I think it might be time for some
Dennys Random Facts.
Oh, sweet Dennys. He's going to give us a series of factoids. Vickie's our educator. She's going to grade every one of his factoids.
Partially.
Yeah, if it's not good, she is going to give him an F. But if it's good, she's going to give him an A or a B. Hadn't had too many A's lately, but that's okay.
I love how he had to hydrate first.
I had
Like
to
he's
get-
ready.
I got it just in case I sweat.
That's a nervous swig right there.
It's a big swig. Yeah, I got to get the whistle wet. So today's theme is definitely going to be a love theme just because we got Valentine's Day on the approach.
Love it.
So first fact for you guys, pretzels were once a symbol of love. During the 17th century, pretzels came to symbolize undying love. According to lore, 1614, Swiss royal couples used pretzels in their wedding ceremony to seal their bond. They would fold it around in the fashion that we know today. Some historians even believe this is where the term tying the knot came from. And they would bake their bread and get married.
Look, you know me.
I know
love
you like
snacks,
bread.
I
I
love
know
bread.
not so much love, but the bread. I know
You kind of
you
got
like.
me thinking pretzels, kind of a very sensual.
But that's how they got
sexual
their shape, at least
snack.
according to the folklore.
Think about it's kind of a sexual snack. The pretzel crosses over. It's
Yeah.
kind of rubbing
So you-
crotches together.
That's a
Yeah,
little
they say it's
69.
a Swiss royal ceremony.
I would buy 69 pretzels.
That would be great.
Well, I mean, they already are almost there.
Would you
right?
call it 69 pretzels or pretzel 69?
pretzel 69? That sounds way better.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a bag of pretzel 69.
Yeah,
I
you
mean-
could do the little design, but you could see like a husband wife getting married and having their wrists like in what we know as the iconic shape of a pretzel.
Yeah.
Okay, Vickie, you heard it. Did you love it?
I actually, as much as I hate to admit it, I did.
Ah.
So that's an A.
Oh,
Look
wow.
at that on Valentine's.
Now I'm
Look at
hungry.
that.
Approacheth.
Love is in the air.
I think those super pretzels in the microwave are underrated. They're amazing. You ever have those? Where you,
I
Becky,
love
it-
pretzels.
Becky in here asking me if I've had super pretzels. Okay, yeah, at 89.
I love soft pretzels.
Me
though.
too,
They're
they're
so
good.
good.
They are
underrated,
great.
yeah.
I'll get it every time I go to the movie theater.
with a little beer cheese.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh!
jeez.
But what's my knock on the pretzel?
What is it?
They never have enough cheese. The cup is that big. You're licking it.
You always have to uncomfortably ask for 2 cups.
Yeah, and sometimes they go a little too heavy. They got bully salt. Sometimes their salt's kind of a bully ingredient, a bi.
Sometimes you get granules that are that big.
Well,
and they get.
I rather them over salt than under salt because you can always just gently knock it off.
It's really just a granule size for me. The shape is too large.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are really asking if we're high.
I can imagine. It's just been a long week.
It's been a long week, y'all.
So according to a study, love, pain, money, and cocaine all light up the same areas of the brain. They actually say that the chemicals in your brain go wild. You were talking about the different phases of love. When you first get into love, there's a dopamine rush, and there's also a weird hyperstimulation of the brain's fear center known as the amygdala. And that's why you get that weird, flighty initial love feeling. And then that wears off, and it exchanges for a different form of love, which your brain then shifts to, can this person provide for me or provide whatever you crave? But in the early stages of relationships, people can exhibit symptoms of addiction, craving, euphoria, emotional, physical dependencies, all just because of the chemical reactions of love, pain, money, or cocaine.
Love makes you do fucked up things, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
I can see it being addicted to it because I like passion and I could do a whole psychoanalysis. But that first 6 months, I get addicted to
Oh,
that.
I bet you do.
Yeah, I love that.
Put the
Well,
dick
so-
in addicted.
He does, though.
That's
But
great.
it's a combined bunch of emotions that rush when you fall in love. It's just weird that pain's in there. Pain is considered one of those euphoric feelings.
Vickie, I'd love to hear your grade, but I also want to hear what's a dumb thing love's made you do?
Give somebody money.
Really?
Oh, I
Yeah.
can easily
To
make it.
where you gave an obscene amount of money
Yeah.
and because the love.
Yeah.
God, it sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, grade him now.
Yeah.
Take that hate. Put it
No.
into
Use
put it into the judgment.
That was pretty good. I'm gonna give it a B.
B.
Nice.
Not
strong
for
week.
brain
Mm-hmm.
powers.
Yeah.
All right, I love it. Love.
This one's kind of just funny and gross. So I guess historically they looked into it. 90% of love potions that people used to take in order to promote them falling in love and love-attracting perfumes were actually 90% were comprised of sweat. They figured just in the science labs back then that the pheromones from humans would be the only ingredient that would attract, and they would just add a little bit of like a flower scent to it. But pretty much when people were slugging down love potions, they were drinking 90% people's sweat.
Yeah, makes sense. Hormones.
Ugh. Just something to think about.
Yeah, Vickie, if you can get past your nausea, what is your grade on that one?
That one's a B.
All right, solid.
Yeah, that's fair. I get it.
That's solid.
It's kind of just gross and fun.
But it actually makes a lot of sense.
It does really make a lot of sense. That was just how archaic it was. They would just squirt a little bit of orange juice in there. And then
You ever been attracted to somebody from a distance, and even maybe in a conversation, and then you get a little down and dirty, and you're like, I kind of feel like I'm kissing maybe cousin 2, possibly cousin 1. It just doesn't. It feels off.
it feels weird.
Yeah,
I got the
I'm not really talking
analogy.
about kissing cousins here. I'm
You're like,
using-
what happened?
Yeah,
I was
well,
using
you-
that as a shorthand.
You're
Dennis.
saying where like the spark isn't there?
It feels.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
it's
Well,
weird.
on
It-
pen and paper, it should work, and then it doesn't.
yeah, that's always when life kind of kicks you right in the nards.
I've had the opposite happen too.
Where you don't think it'll work, and then you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I just wasn't like super leaned in on the whole situation, and then whatever chemistry was there, like not to be cheesy, but like you can tell a lot by a kiss, you know.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then all of a sudden you're up against the wall making out, and you're like, whoa, where was this chemistry?
Did you watch a rom-com last night?
No.
Okay.
Should I?
No.
I do like McConaughey.
I know you.
Yeah.
Danny, you're on a roll. Keep it
All right,
going,
here
bud.
So, weird stat I found, according to a study, I guess, from 2017, the average person keeps 13 secrets, 5 of which are really deep ones, 2 of which are never often told ever. And the average, let's see here, on average, a person can, so they did a study on the averages a person can keep a secret. Well, so,
Oh boy, shit!
You're losing points on presentation right
He's
now.
on the ropes, everybody.
well, so I was gonna jump to another point, but I wanted to throw this one in because I thought it'd be funny. All right, so and I thought I was gonna see what you guys thought of this because they said the average woman can keep a secret for 3 hours and 32 minutes on average, and the average man can keep a secret for 2 hours and 47 minutes, even less time than females. What are you guys' thoughts on that? You think it would be gender flipped? But then they did a study.
Why would it be gender
Because
flipped?
he's being stereotypical.
Well, no,
He's losing points right and left.
I'm only going on an earlier study done 10 years earlier where it was far greater of a number. But then they did a study last year, and they said the average person can keep a secret now 35 minutes. So between 3-year difference, it dropped from hours to 35
Yeah,
minutes.
because everyone's on Instagram.
Yeah.
And they said the culprit was social media.
Fuck yeah! I don't trust. If you really want a secret, you can't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Can't tell anyone. So they said the top 5 secrets that people keep. Number 1 is mental health issues or health issues. Number 2 is embarrassing or cringy incidences. Number 3 was internet history.
So you're saying these are secrets?
These are the top 5 secrets kept by people.
Okay, I'm kind of.
So number 1's health issues. People don't like to if
get
a
that.
person. I mean, I've heard of sad, even with just friends, where the father wouldn't tell anyone he was sick, and then he passes away suddenly, and then you find out that he's known for years.
Right.
I mean, it seems to be, and then mental health issues is another one that it was the number one category was mental health and health issues.
Well, mental health issues, people judge it so hard, and as soon as they can use it against you, people do
I
that.
think that's what it, especially in America where everybody's like, you know, we got to go, mental fortitude.
If you're in a business and they know that you have something, that people will use it against you. It's just the way it is in a competitive field. It sucks. It's not right.
I think sometimes in a weird way, some people look at gossip as social capital. Like they go and spend it. Like it's something of value to give people gossip. And I don't know if there's some evolution, whatever, but you know, when I see people watching like Housewives in New York or Orange County, for me personally, there's nothing more cringeworthy. You know, but it's then they have an after show with what's his
then
face,
you want to talk about
and then they're just gossiping about it. And for me, like I'm the best person to tell a secret to because I'm on to the next thing. I forgot about the secret.
sure.
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
you absolutely are
know?
like that.
Yeah, but it's just interesting. Like some people feel like when they show up to a social event, oh, did you hear? Da 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 da.
Totally.
And I don't try to not be gossipy. I just honestly like it just doesn't. I just naturally doesn't come to me to like be gossipy. If that makes sense.
I think there's a difference between gossiping and venting. Venting, I feel, is extremely healthy
very
and
healthy.
necessary.
I agree.
And if you're venting to your core people,
Yeah.
your best friends, your soulmates, I don't consider that
right.
gossiping. Now we're in a semantics debate.
No,
'cause
I agree with
know
you.
what
I
mean?
actually think it's apples and oranges because I think that a lot of times, especially people that you value their opinion and you trust, it's interesting to have sounding boards, one, because you work it out in your own head, and other people, you have certain experiences that might be similar, and it's interesting sometimes if you have the right kind of friends that are giving you advice, they're like, yeah, man, you kind of messed up. You know what I mean? They call you out. They're not yes people.
That's
on it.
different than saying, "Hey, guys, hear about Art?"
Right,
Oh man,
exactly.
he's got hemorrhoids.
Right,
Oh man,
exactly.
Artie farty, man. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
That's
People
different.
love gossip.
Oh,
though.
people
Love it.
It's
People
just-
love it.
You want to hear it.
You do. It depends on what kind of gossip.
For sure.
You want to hear gossip until it happens to you.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, nobody wants to hear it about them.
Keep going, Dennys. Give us one more,
So
if you have it.
I do. Let's see. So since it's Valentine's Day, I looked up a bunch of weird animal mating rituals, and I found like the top weirdest ones. I was just gonna read them off to you guys.
Is ducks on there?
Ducks aren't, although their ritual isn't as weird as it is just
Oh, that corkscrew dick's not weird.
abusive. Yeah, and the female cavities, they have false cavities, so the duck dick goes the wrong way.
You ever see a BND?
No,
A BND have sex?
no,
You know what a BND is?
a bird and
No, barnacle nose duck.
no.
They're very aggressive.
Very, and they live at townhouses.
I think it's interesting on the. I think
They thrive
I
at
didn't know about a
townhouses.
mock hole. That's interesting.
Yeah, they do mock holes. Well, so the duck vagina created a bunch of mock holes, so it kind of looks like this now. The duck dick comes in and it's like fuck, and it's like
Wait,
fuck.
slow it down.
And then it goes here.
slow, baby.
Well, so here's what's even crazier. So this duck was like, they evolved, and this duck dick's no longer working anymore. The other one, he created another one. Now they have two, so they poke two different.
So are you claiming
Doubling the chances.
you're claiming they have two duck dicks? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, DP.
Multiple cavities and multiple duck dicks.
Vickie, I'm sorry. This is kind of a.
It's
filthy
gone off the
podcast.
rails. Let's get back to the mating rituals here.
We've been doing a little too much whatever and not enough weird.
It stands for duck porn.
So this is a really weird. The anglerfish. You guys seen that thing? It's from the animated. You've seen it from like the Nemo, the scary fish that has the light. It produces light in the depths.
yeah.
So the way they mate, when an anglerfish wants to mate, he sinks his teeth into the female fish and then becomes permanently attached to her. Then the male lives off her like a parasite until he is completely absorbed by the female and she becomes pregnant.
Vickie, I did not get
Sounds
your
about
grade.
right.
I didn't get your grade on duck dick factoid, and I need your grade on this one.
Well, I thought duck dick was part of this.
Okay, is it part of
It was
it?
the one
it's all
before I didn't
encompassed.
give a
Gotcha,
grade
okay.
to.
We've got on a
It
few
was the
tangents.
C material before this one I didn't give a grade
I
to.
like to set it up. Well,
You're still rolling with the B average.
hey, as long as I can pass this class.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about this mating ritual? The hippopotamus. Thank God we don't do this. Their mating game's all about defecation. When a male wants a mate, he makes sure his environment is covered in urine and feces, and then he tops it off with some mind-blowing farts. If the
Really?
Yes, he starts farting until a female hippopotamus approaches where she raises her behind above the waterline and she showers him with poop. The scientific name for this is called submissive defecation.
It's 2 hippos, 1 cup.
I'm not gonna lie, Dennys. That's gonna be a tough one for me to shake. There's certain factoids that sink deep, and
I get it.
I think that would sink in deep. Damn. Who knew that it was such a tough life being a hippo, Vickie?
Well, that's how they turn each other on.
Vickie, you look repulsed. What's going through your brain?
Are all these going to be lumped together for one final grade?
Oh,
or
yeah,
doing
yeah.
each one?
This is all
But
under
you
one
have,
umbrella.
You have to admit, as gross as that was.
This one's a freaking F.
What? I gotta disagree.
That's disgusting.
It's
Well, I mean, it's
disgusting,
gross,
but
it's
it's fucking
interessante.
it's whacked.
It's a random fact.
It's crazy, Denny. I love it, Denny.
That was gnarly. I get it.
C's get degrees.
Give us one more and give us something good to hold on to some hope.
So porcupines, I don't know if you guys know how they mate. They actually, females weirdly don't ever get pregnant. They only get pregnant 8 to 12 hours a year, to be precise. So when the time comes, a male porcupine will climb onto a tree and start urinating onto the female's back. If the female enjoys the scent,
Vickie's gonna walk out.
she'll climb up the tree and she makes him have sex until he is physically exhausted and collapses. And then there is only a small percentage of a chance they're actually going to get pregnant.
Vickie, he's taking us on quite the ride tonight.
Wow.
I don't even know what to say. I really don't.
Dog,
they're
you
doing
got
in
me.
your
I'm over
backyard.
here. My mind's fucking blown.
It's nature, dog.
Okay, so your homework is to find out how many animals in the animal kingdom have mating rituals as gross as all these. So I need a percentage. I need, normal-ish and gross.
All right.
So I need the percentage next week.
All right. I'll try
And
to
I'll
get
hold my
those.
grade off until I see those percentages.
All right.
That's funny.
I have some others that are pretty gross too. Well, so this one's not as gross as it is cool. I don't know if you guys have heard of the garter snakes. When they mate, they all meet in one location, all of them, in the largest snake gathering in the world. And about 100 males roll into a huge ball surrounding one single female, where they all try to mate with her at the same time. Some males even release a fake female hormone scent to trick other males into prodding that while they try to get in.
Wow.
That serves a male. It's just a giant snake.
Yeah,
orgy.
we're gonna have to pull the plug on this one. Vickie's.
Oh my god.
Great job, kid.
That was good. That was good. That was
You
good.
did good.
Think
You did
about
good.
those.
You did good.
Happy Valentine's Day.
So, Dennys, I'm gonna give you the floor again because I saw your wife Jen in the chat room, and I don't think we touched upon this, but y'all know that Denny's wife is a witch.
No.
She's
She
into
is.
witch.
She's training.
Is she related to Virginia?
Virginia is a different kind of witch. Jen's a good witch.
Okay.
She's the one that's
Virginia.
Hello,
Virginia's
Dorothy.
begins with a B.
Yeah, Virginia is evil. Jen is the.
Jen's into. She's been kind of into. It started off, I guess, with an interest in tarot, and then formed into ruins, Nordic ruins, which is actually kind of cool. There's a bunch of different, I guess, ruins, and there's chips and different ways to read them. And one of the ones you switch them around. We were thinking about doing a reading with Burby. Switch them around and you toss them, and based on how they land, you come up with different. I guess not so much fortunes as they are kind of just reminders of things you should do in your life.
So we were talking about doing a reading. Now I want to ask you, Vickie. Let's say we do a reading. I do one with Jen. I come back here. Is something like a reading with tarot cards or whatever, the stones that Jen's into?
Ruins, tarot, they're kind of in the same vein.
You do something like that. Do the spirits know when I come back? Am I conjuring something up by doing that because I already have a little bit of a gateway, a club ghost, if you will?
I for sure wouldn't do it here, which would be a little more sketchy, especially since we're talking about your backpack guy that's still here. Doing it at another location, I think it's fine.
Now, here's where me and Vickie always
be
get
at
into
our crib.
a debate. I want to get something caught on video, obviously. We do that here. We conjure up some shit. Jen brings the stones over. We have a little bit of a witch's brew. You see what I'm saying? We want to. You see what I'm saying? I get that you don't think it's a good idea because you're worried about my well-being, but I'm over here consenting, saying I don't give a fuck about my well-being. I want to be that sacrificial lamb. Bring on the ghost. Bring on the spirits. Demons, if you're around, come on. I don't give a
Okay,
fuck.
how about we make a deal?
Okay.
If you want to do that, just make sure I'm here.
I
when
love it.
happens.
This is
There
what I'm
you go.
saying. This is a compromise, people. This is what we do in life. We compromise.
And
like
I've
it.
noticed Jen's pottery. I noticed a few things that she was making, kind of led me to believe. I think she had some apothecary
She
stuff.
did,
and-
yeah. I think she started getting these cool tarot patterns, and it kind of just led to the interest.
Very cool.
Now, but you said they are cousins to the tarot world of the cards?
Yeah, they're two different things, but they kind of do a similar purpose. But it's pretty cool. She was reading some of the tales of Odin and stuff. A lot of it's based around the Norse mythology.
Y'all remember we had a little bit of a witches feud? Do you remember that a while ago? We had some witches.
yeah.
Do you remember that? They were kind of well. They listened to the morning show as well. They're back.
Nice.
And they heard me talking about them on the KVJ show. And the title of the email is Witch Complaint. I love it. What's with your bullshit attitude towards witches? This is addressed to all of us, by the way, especially to Jason and to Vickie.
I have never said anything negative about witches.
Well,
You go ahead and pull up that footage since
Okay.
you want to start something.
oh, ding ding. What's with your bullshit attitude towards witches, Jay Bird and Vickie? That's how I hear it in my head. Would your boss like to hear how you discriminate towards a group of religion? They're saying that we're discriminating against. I think they're getting it confused. I think they're getting Virginia confused with you. They heard,
Yeah, they must have or something.
keep it up, Brianna. So they're threatening management, which I think is hilarious. And
I have no management, so they can't be talking about me.
well, I just love the fact that my manager has to read an email about
witch?
witches complaining.
That's great.
Isn't that awesome?
That's so good.
It is. It's
That's
funny
so
how many of you guys managers over the years have just gotten some weird complaints.
They get some weird complaints.
So does witches always have to be female? Like
No, those are warlocks.
warlocks are the male version.
That's what I've been.
Warlock sounds so intense, though. You know?
I was trying to think, is like a wizard the male version of a witch, or is it different?
I was told it was a warlock. I could be wrong though. Is it not
I think
a warlock?
it depends on the magic. Because good magic, I'd say wizards are more inclined to probably be less evil.
But are they-
I mean, they can be evil too, though. in the
Is a
olden-
witch a wizard though?
I think witch implies that typically that they're bad, right?
No, typically anybody that practices, first of all, anybody that practices, they're supposed to be focusing on do no harm. So it's not supposed to be doing evil things, typically. And that's where people who practice, who are Wiccan and all those kind of things get a bad rap by the general public that don't know. No, they try to do good things.
Yeah, because it's probably also a little bit of how Hollywood can influence culture, and you have like Wizard of Oz and the Wicked Witch
Or
of
The
the
Craft.
West, and you have
Yeah.
the Salem witch trials and
What?
all that, and then it starts to although I'm ignorant to it, that's maybe not how witches were originally signified, but that's how in pop culture it kind of
You're right.
became
Right.
looked at.
And back in the day, they simply used holistic medicine. They knew how to use the herbs. They knew how to do this, that, and the other, and they were just labeled crazy or weird. But they were just doing all natural healing, and that's what they still do.
That do natural healing. Yeah, so witches, whatever. Vickie wants to step to that shit. She says,
Yeah,
step
find the
off.
proof. Find the proof that I ever said anything.
Yeah, the chat room's got your back. By the way, chat room, just to let you know, some of you, I'll give you guys the skinny. There's a love song coming. I wrote a love song to the chat room.
Oh, nice.
I'm debuting it either tomorrow or on Friday for Valentine's Day. The chat room sometimes can be like me, a little bitter towards love.
A little
And,
jaded toward the concept.
It's the anti-Valentine's Day song, and it's dedicated to the awesome people in the chat room.
I can tell the audience that Dennys and Jaybird are sitting on some good songs. We've had some jam sessions after the podcast. What was that one that I really loved?
That's what I think we're working on.
Yeah,
is that the one you
we
were
actually we were just recorded the music part of
We
it.
did.
I'm waiting with bated breath over here.
I think
like
we
it
got the
back here.
instrumental part done on that.
Yeah,
one.
we did. Yeah, so look out for that one, chat room. Hopefully that's coming tomorrow. I did want to. Are we done trashing witches?
No, yeah.
Which one?
Dear Weird and whatever. Do you think aliens get? Did we talk about aliens getting horny?
No, but I'm down.
Dear Weird Whatever, do you think aliens get horny, or is that just a human thing? I was once told that animals don't have sex for pleasure, they have sex for reproduction purposes only. Is that true? Are humans the only ones that have fun getting their fuck on for the hell of it? Yours truly, Ronnie. That is such a Ronnie type email, isn't it?
Well, I know that dolphins have sex for pleasure.
They do. They're
Yeah,
one of the few.
They're one of the few. But at the end of the day, how do we know? You
How
know?
do we know?
Yeah, we
How do
don't know. They
But
could
we can do studies and claim that we know, but like it could be proven wrong. Like if we ever get a chance to like that movie Up to actually hear what animals are saying, they'll be like, dude, we love peeing on people before sex. You know?
The one thing I'd say, I think we've got it kind of wrong with animals. I think humans sometimes think animals are a lot dumber than what they think they are. Pure arrogance, in my opinion.
100%.
Even if you think an animal is acting dumb, you just really don't know.
Yep.
I
I think it's really arrogant of us to think that just because they act differently than us, you know?
Yeah.
They act differently, and it's on a different level. Because I always think about that. I think about if aliens came down and they were like, you know, a certain level of intelligence, or just live their life. Maybe they aren't even necessarily intelligent. They just live and communicate and procreate in a different way. And then they look at us, and they look at us like we look at dolphins, and they're like, no, like we actually have our own community. We have feelings and, you know, all that stuff. And like, just because you guys can't perceive us aliens, that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I had a dog named Charlie when I was 9, and he was fixed. He didn't have any balls, and he fell in love with this beautiful Cocker Spaniel dog, and he was a terrier, and they had this rendezvous for a weekend. And this wasn't like Charlie. He was pretty docile, just kind of a keep to himself kind of dog. For the whole weekend, he was just hanging with this dog that we had no idea where this dog came from. They fell in love, and then all of a sudden, this German Shepherd comes out of nowhere. This is all going down in my backyard. Never had this kind of activity go on until this weekend. German Shepherd steps to Charlie, way bigger than Charlie, by the way. Charlie, in the name of love, says, "Fuck you, German Shepherd. This is my woman. We are in love." Went after the German Shepherd. German Shepherd scampers off. Charlie and the Cocker Spaniel, they stayed all weekend long together until the Cocker Spaniel ran away.
It's a great love story.
right,
Sounds like
yeah.
Lady and the Tramp.
My point is, look, even if you don't got no balls, there's still hope.
Still hope.
That's really the moral of that story.
yeah.
It's like an Aesop fable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody want to pile on with Ronnie? Do we think? Do we think Ronnie? Aliens? They obviously have sex.
Yeah, because I think horny is just your biological markers telling you to procreate. That's all that's happening.
There are people. I just read an article about it. Someone said they never ever have one. They've never had a sexual urge in their life. They don't.
It happens.
Yeah,
God
it does.
bless them.
Yeah, you get a lot of stuff done.
Yeah.
If you
I'd be
never had
so
a-
rich.
If you never had a sexual urge,
You would get so much stuff
You get
done.
so much stuff done.
And
Yeah.
you wouldn't be tempted by, you would be so,
On it.
oh yeah, by the books too, because you'd have no reason.
You'd be like racing boats and like getting your joys out of like other things, you know?
It just, if you think about it though, everybody does everything so that they can procreate.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like weird. Everything that you do is so you can reproduce, you know?
Yeah, there's Dave Chappelle. Like, guys don't like nice things.
Yeah.
Guys like nice things because women like nice things. If a guy could live and mate in a cardboard box, he would.
Yeah.
You know, and then he gave a thing. He's like, we pull up in a light of Ferrari, and the girl's like, "Nice car." He's like, "Gotcha."
Vickie, you want to counter back in?
No. I'm definitely the odd man out tonight, the way the conversations have gone.
No, I think you. Oh, Vickie, you love it. Dear Weird Whatever, back in 1987, I was kidnapped and left for dead. The man who tried to kill me took my class ring. I even remember him saying, "I'm taking this to remember you by." He thought I was dead. They never caught the guy who did this to me, but I always thought it was odd he took my class ring. I later came to find that most murderers do this kind of stuff. They look at it as a trophy. I often wonder how many other people this guy killed. They never caught him. I don't really even remember what he looked like. I just remember being attacked. I know y'all like talking about creepy shit, so I thought I'd share my story. Stephanie. Crazy story.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, and there are a lot of stories like that where, especially back in the 80s, 90s, 70s, someone leaves you for dead, and then they're gone. You never even, a lot of times police, they take the report and they lose the fucking report. That it blows my mind how many times I'm watching a special and they go, and then the box of evidence was lost in a bathroom accident where it was put under by a sink. You go, really?
Yeah.
The hatchet's by the sink?
Yeah. Or the local police had this fact and the FBI had this fact and they didn't communicate it.
Oh,
and if they
yeah.
would have done that, like they would have solved the crime.
The one that blows my mind is the Adam Walsh case, how they fumble-fucked that thing. I mean, that was such a big case. That case changed so much. I know it's like a broken record.
As recently as the girl, I forgot her name, escapes me, that, her fiance, they were on that van trip, and then the local police didn't surveil him, or they followed the mom because they thought it was him, and they let him get away. How much money did taxpayers have to pay on a nationwide search for like 2 weeks? All they had to do is park a black and white car out front.
Vickie, you've heard of that before with killers taking trophies.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is, if she actually still has a picture of that ring, spread it all over social media. You never know.
Yeah.
At this
You're
point,
right.
that person could be deceased. Maybe they found these things. Somebody pawned them. You may be able to trace back and find out a person nowadays.
Funny enough, I was just watching a special where the class ring, the guy killed the girl, took her class ring, just like this, and then left it in his car. And somebody, the police knew, and her family only knew about the class ring being missing. So it wasn't this big thing out.
Right.
And that's what led them. Because Vickie's right. That's why we always bring up those cold cases. I brought one up on the KVJ show. Maurice Jefferson. I've been having dreams about him, Vickie.
Really?
Yeah, Maurice Jefferson, been missing since 1984. The last dream that I had about Maurice Jefferson, I was... and I apologize for anyone listening. They might have heard the story because I told it on the air the other day. I'm seeing Maurice. I can't see him close up, but I know it's him. In a dream you just know things. Yeah. And I'm seeing him in this playground type of area. Now keep in mind, he was 16 when he was taken. And a woman walks up to me. I don't know who this woman is. And she walks up and I look at her and she kind of pauses for a second. And she goes, Maurice would really like it if you talked about him. And that's pretty much the dream. That's really all about the dream. But look, I have a microphone. It happened in Fort Lauderdale. It's a cold case. Maybe somebody knows something.
Right.
Maurice Jefferson. I urge you to Google that story.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I have a connection to that case, I feel like.
Interesting.
It's odd.
I can tell a story that, kind of goes along with it blows your mind. I was debating about sharing the story, but someone I'm close with had a seizure last week, grand mal seizure. She was found face down on her bed with blue lips. They brought her to the hospital, and she was declared brain dead. And they had her on life support. And long story short, one of the reasons they didn't take her off life support is she has a 2-year-old son. And they didn't want a custody thing to ensue because the dad hasn't been involved, long story short. So the advice was to keep her on life support so it didn't trigger a custody thing. And the doctor told the mom, listen, there's no coming back. There's no brain activity. I want you to make sure that you understand that. Sunday, she wakes up.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Sunday, she wakes up. She starts doing commands like wiggling her toes and stuff like that. So it's not out of the woods yet. The next, week and whatever will be, critical in terms of her recovery and how much she recovers and all that. But I was thinking about that on Monday. I was like, man, they were ready to take her off life support. And I'm all for letting someone pass and not keeping them on life support for a year or something like that. But I was like, it gave me goosebumps.
Yeah,
no,
it gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, it's really odd when it comes to all that stuff. I'm not sure how much experience you guys have with being there at a hospital when someone's on life support and they're talking about last rites. I had that with my mom. They everyone goes to the hospital, your mom's about to die. We need a priest right away. So, within an hour, you're trying to get all this shit taken care of. You're getting ready to read her last, the last rites. And then they come out about an hour later and say, we're going to keep your mom on life support. And then they kept her on for a week. Wow. So you went from going to, she's about to die right now, get a priest, to nope, we're going to hold off and for a week. What is that about?
Right.
You know what I mean? Is that the hospital trying to get more, it depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Is it about money, or did they really think something
There was probably some kind of sign that they thought it was better. I went through the whole thing with life support with my mom, and my brother and sister wanted to take her off like right away. And I waited until we had several experts come in and say, this is what the scenario is. If she survives, this is what her quality of life will be. That wasn't what my mom would want. So ultimately, I had to make the decision because the other two didn't have the nerve to do anything once they wanted to unplug it at the very beginning.
Did that cause drama?
Well, I never liked them in the first place, so it didn't cause any extra drama that wasn't already there. And they also didn't show up when they actually did it. I was the one that was there by my mom's side when they did it.
Damn.
Oh.
Well, we're all sharing. That's good. As depressing as it is, sharing brings people together, right, Dennys? Come on, Dennys, warm up for tomorrow. Tell us one of those jokes. One of those classic jokes.
But I really feel the hospital gives you the most accurate information, and if there's a glimmer of hope, I think that they would have kept her on.
Sure, it just was.
didn't.
It was a weird speed to go to get a priest. It's her last minutes to. We're gonna keep her around for a week. It was just odd. It was an odd shift change.
Well, you know me, I'm not the conspiracy theorist, but she doesn't have insurance. So I was like, whoa, that's pretty quick to make that move, you know? And, it just, to be so definitive, they call it practicing medicine for a reason, you know? Medicine can change and evolve and everything like that. To be so definitive about something, we had hospice there. And then, then Sunday comes, like, wow, like I was just totally like a 180, like emotional roller coaster, just crazy that it could go that different direction like that.
Reading some of the chat room comments, Penelope Starr says, doctors are wrong all the time. I think humans are wrong, no matter what field you're in. Yeah, I mean, all the time. I don't know about all the time. But to your point, I've had doctors be wrong. Yeah. I've had wrong diagnoses. In fact, I had one last year. I thought I was, a year and a half ago, I thought I was dying, and they got it wrong. Right. It sucked. Yeah. So it does happen. Yeah. Let me see here. Toph Love says, I'm zoning out. Okay, Toph, thanks for the support. Appreciate
She was zoned in enough to type it in the message box.
Yeah. Lonesome Lenny, wait 90 seconds and the topic will change. All right, got a lot of support and a lot of encouragement from the chat room. Nice. Appreciate that. Nice. Let's see what else we got. We're going to play a round of... Someone said, hey, dear Win, whatever, remember that game you used to play where Jaybird makes up a crime and everyone has to play the judge and hand out a sentence? Jaybird, please make this game happen again. It's my birthday. I just turned 30. I love your podcast.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Andrea. Okay, Andrea from Port St. Lucie. Here's the situation. You guys are the judge. The person on trial, they dug up 10 bodies and did inappropriate things to the corpse.
Oh, geez.
How long do you send them to prison? You're the judge, Dennys.
Oh, that's deviant.
Inappropriate in like putting a fake mustache on it or like sexual stuff?
So I deliberately wrote it vague because I wanted to see where your minds went, and now I see where Beckett's at.
Yeah, well, I say digging or exhuming any corpse would be inappropriate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
despite what you do to it.
It's absolutely, it's a horrible crime. I think they really throw the, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Is that one of those crimes where they throw you think they're going to throw the book at you and the guy only gets like 6 days in the clink?
You think that's a huge penalty and you find out it's like 10 days?
I think it's 5 years.
Oh, don't go to me first.
All right.
I'm going 5 years.
You're going 5 years hardcore prison?
Yeah, because I always think it's got to be something where it's bad enough where other people won't do it. 6 days in the clink. I think some people kind of like crazy people balance that out and be like, oh yeah, 6 days, not bad, free meals, you know?
Oh yeah. 6 days, nothing.
Yeah, I think 5 years hurts. It hurts enough, but it's not a life sentence, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, Dennys, 10 people were dug up.
Well, so, I mean, bad things. What if you're stealing from them, taking jewelry? That's all horrible.
All of it. Look, you go to stealing, Beckett goes to doing
sex.
This is kind of one of those Google questions. I just want to see what's behind these eyeballs of yours.
Necrophilia gets you 10. I think if you're just roughing up the body or doing some...
Just roughing up the body?
I don't know. What are they doing? Taking it out and boxing it? I have no idea.
Guilty, Your Honor.
I have no idea what these people are doing with it if they're not having sex with it or stealing from it. But whatever they're doing, I say it has to be 5 or plus. I agree with Beckett. It has to hurt.
Yeah.
That's something you don't want becoming a thing.
Okay, I'm doing 10 years. That's 1 year each count because there's 10 bodies. And they're going to have to be on a work release program where they're going to go to some of these underprivileged cemeteries and they're going to have to keep them clean. They're gonna be weeding. They're gonna be doing all this stuff to beautify a cemetery to give something back.
That's the best one.
What if you show up and they're defiling?
Well, no, they'd be supervised.
I'll tell you right now, y'all too soft. Y'all are way too soft. 10 bodies, guys? One wasn't enough? They could have stopped after 6. They could have stopped.
Yeah.
10. No. 20 years hardcore prison. You got a lot to think about, you sick fuck.
Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
sorry.
There
What
you
if that's
go.
your grandma? What if it's
I
your
hear
loved
ya.
one? Fuck that.
They're in
No.
the mausoleum.
20 years.
That's the other thing. If you have the victims' families speak, you're probably going to throw up the sentencing because of the feelings and the emotions that come as a part of it, for sure.
There's video and he's like dancing with one of the bodies.
Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's.
That would be rough.
Okay. A woman takes garlic bread, wipes her ass with it, then serves it to an elderly woman.
Jeez.
Elderly woman doesn't know about it. What do you give? But it's all on camera.
Damn.
Damn.
I mean, gosh, it's got to be 5 years or plus.
And it's horrifying to think something like that could happen.
Oh, dude, it
I
happens
know.
all the time.
I
Dude,
know.
a long time ago, one of my buddies worked at Checkers. If anyone pissed him off in line, he'd fart on their bun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man, a lot of people got farted buns, dude.
Well, now I know that's a mating technique.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Oh my
So I never mess with anyone's food. I just like,
Buns on buns.
I just assume everybody's doing the worst thing possible to anything. Every 25 meals I get, I'm sure something sinister has happened to it.
That's all right. So what are you giving, guys?
I think I got to go 5 years.
It's got to be, yeah.
Because someone could actually get sick that way.
Vickie?
I'm going 3 years in jail and 2 years emptying bedpans in a nursing home.
Ooh.
I like the bedpan thing, but I think we could find that activity doing in the clink. We could add on a couple more years to that. 3 years to hardcore.
So what's
bedpan
yours
dude.
then?
My years? Or what was yours, Dennys?
5.
Beckett?
5.
Vickie?
Mine was 3 in jail, 2 work.
10. 10 hardcore, no chance of parole, and all 10 years you're on bedpan per duty. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So we always give context for the victim, but what if we gave context for the actual criminal? For example, what if she just lost her father, got cheated on, and the grandma was the most horrible person ever.
Give
a
boo
spit
fucking
it,
who.
spit in her face.
Boo hoo. Boo hoo.
You're not going to give her 9
Fuck
years?
no.
Okay.
You wiped the bun with your ass and you gave it to an elderly woman.
You wouldn't knock a year off?
Fuck that. You got to think. No. 20 years. In fact, because you're trying to. No, I just added 5 years on.
Fair enough.
That's awesome. Last one, guys. Last one. And then we're going to end this madness. A kid just turns 18.
Okay.
He smokes crack and then hijacks a school bus.
Kids in it?
Yes.
Okay.
He crashes the bus in a farm where no kids are injured, but 9 hens and 3 cows die. What is the punishment?
20 years.
Totally.
You killed animals.
And you kidnapped kids?
Oh, dude,
You killed
it could have gone so wrong.
It could have gone wrong. You
Yeah.
did the crack, first offense, but
Yeah.
we're not going to get you on the crack. We're going to get you on the crack because you took the bus with the kids.
Right.
And the hens getting killed.
And then you killed animals.
Hens, dens, I know, I mean,
friends.
Beckett,
I'm going with a variation of Vickie. I'm going to go 10 years, but I'm going to think of some kind of social program. Like, he's got to actually, like, you know, muck stalls for cows and, you know, do like a whole... I like the Penance Act where they're actually doing some kind of punishment related to the crime.
I like that, too.
Yeah, but that way he gets out at 28. You know, he made a bad decision. He was influenced by drugs. Not that that's an excuse, but he gets out at 28. He still has got his life ahead of him. He's done some things to, you know, in part of his punishment, you know, whether it's cleaning up after animals and volunteering for kids.
objection. I'm sorry, I can't get over Denny's story about the guy farting on the bun.
Yeah, man, back in like high school.
That was a bomb, dog. I'm not gonna lie. That was,
Well, I mean,
I think the only
his
time
theory
I've...
was don't be a dick, and
Which-
you won't get a fart bun.
Which Checkers? Because I used to go to the Boca Checkers.
we gotta move it on.
The only time I've ever got food poisoning in my life was Checkers.
we got it. Let's go.
It would be such a coincidence.
So what's the fucking punishment? What do you give?
I say he loses an eye. Take an eye, give him 10 years.
An eye for an eye.
Well, y'all, I had great fun. I'm not sure if the audience did, but
Vickie did.
Yeah, I
I need
had
a T-shirt. I survived last week.
There you go. I love it.
I had a great time. Thank you guys for listening. Vickie, go ahead and promote your just whatever you want to promote.
Yeah, you were asking when we did the live before the show. I am having an issue with my point email. So if you want to contact me because you have a paranormal issue or you want to set up a reading, send an email to Nancy, Nancy, 38drew, DREW, at AOL.com. Nancy38drew at AOL.com.
I love it.
AOL address. I like it.
Well, don't make fun of me.
We old school up in this piece.
Yeah.
Okay, weirdos, you guys have a great week. We love you all, and Bigfoot is real.
What was that? What's that sound? It's aliens and they're living in your town. They have arrived. They're all around. So many aliens living in your town. Are you scared of aliens? Well, you should be, 'cause aliens want to